Hey, everybody, welcome to Business Over Breakfast. This is our first show with the new name, which is kind of fun. My name is Ben Barber. This is Justin. Hey, man.
What's up, guys? Benny boy, long time no see, man.
Dude, it really feels like it. So how have you been, first of all?
Pretty good, man. Things are getting back to a little bit of normal for us. Big date night tonight with my wife. So first
Oh,
time
nice.
we're gonna go out with no kids since March. So I'm looking forward to that. A half day of work, a couple of these calls today, and then nice few hours to relax for a change.
Very nice. So I wanted to start by talking to you about the event that we were both a part of this weekend, the Newport Craft Beer Fest, which was a massive success, I would say, from all angles. And that was sort of the virtual beer fest. I believe was your idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is
Kind of,
like
sort of.
it was like a random thing, I think we were all on one of these calls and I was like, man, we should do something for the Brewers. I don't even know how we got involved with the Brewers. I think we just were trying to find something innovative to do and keep people entertained during, the whole COVID time type stuff.
Right.
But yeah, man, hats off to producing that. You did a hell of a job with that. And, I think we raised like over $4,000 for Rich and his family. So that
Yep.
was amazing.
Absolutely. All of the proceeds from that virtual festival went to the Rhode Island Brewers Guild.
Brewers Guild.
Yep. They unfortunately one of their brewers um from Gray Sale here in West Shirley, my hometown, um had a tragic accident and is recovering in the ICU right now. And they Rich Welsh, and they decided to create the whole night as a benefit, and it went really really well. And I think something like 4,300 people watched live, and that was just around the exact amount of money that we raised too. So it didn't actually happen like this, but it basically evened out to like $1 a person for view, which was really incredible. And I know that a lot more people have seen it since, which is awesome. But also all of the brewers got to come on, talk about their specialty beers that they have right now, talk about their brewery, talk about their history, talk about where you can find them and what they're doing right now. So that was all really cool. And I talked to Gary from the Brewers Guild about doing something a little bit more like this possibly in the future for more of an in-depth look into the brewers. So that should be a lot of fun. And well, let's bring on our first guest, our only guest at the moment. Um, website for website for Justin's business, absolutely. That would be oceansidegraphics.com, oceansidegraphicsri.com.
Yes.
And I made a whole new section for our I made a whole new section for our banners and our lower thirds in this, and I completely didn't get all of that in. So, all right, let's introduce our guest today. Our guest today is a wonderful man that I have gotten the chance to talk to several times in the last few weeks. He is the owner and creator of the line of Symbol of Love jewelry, and I met through a mutual friend of yours and mine, Justin, Lori,
Yep.
who is I cannot pronounce her last name because I've never tried out loud. Can you do it?
I'm gonna go with she's Italian, so Gautieri.
Okay, I almost guarantee that's wrong,
Yeah, right?
but
Me
I've
too.
only heard the lieutenant governor say it, so we know that there's no chance that you got it right either. Um,
Lori G. That we'll just stick
Lori
Lori
G.
G.
So anyway, wonderful, wonderful at Visual Thrive, and she hooked us up with John. So let's bring him on. John, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm
Good
wonderful,
morning,
thank
John.
you. Um, So tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in the jewelry business?
Well, I started off in the jewelry business from high school, so it was my first job and continued to be probably my last. So I've been in the jewelry business for a very, very long time. Actually, when the jewelry business was thriving, I mean, you couldn't make enough for a lot of years up until maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah. Why? What do you think the change was there?
Well, I think the change was, in the beginning of the jewelry business, not too many women at the time had PSTs. So that became such a fad because people went from a clip earring to a pierced earring, and that helped boom the industry. Uh, Ladies back in the day used to wear matching sets, necklace and earring sets. So today that's not really the case, and as the years went on, um, it became, imports started coming in. Labor intensive jewelry wasn't made by hand anymore, at least in this country, because it got so expensive to do. I mean, the days of your great grandmother sitting down stringing beads, those days were over. And it's stuff that machines really can't do much of. If I mean, unless it's the same bead, like that's how you string, pearls and stuff. But if you're looking at multiple fashion colors in jewelry as a necklace, you're not going to be able to do it in a country like America with labor costs the way they are. So they did it in the Philippines, they did it in China, they did it in Malaysia, they did it in a lot of other countries, which became cost effective. And you can understand that. Certainly, the imports had something to do with it, but I don't think that was the main reason why we don't really promote and have the jewelry industry the way it was. So I think just evolution changed the entire theme of what jewelry is today.
Right. Absolutely. Speaking of the evolution of what jewelry is today, what about and what effect do you think sort of the like big name brand, uh, like the K Jewelers, the Jareds, that are sort of selling what they're selling, and the franchise McDonald's type jewelry stores. What do you think that those have done to the local jewelers?
Well, they've definitely had a large effect on the local jeweler because if you're looking for a hot is a hot is a hot, nobody is going to mass produce it for the amount of money that a K jewelers and these big stores can then make thousands of pieces to produce. Plus, most of the jewelry is not even made in the United States anymore uh, with the mass production. So, uh, but having that be said, they don't have the innovation and design that you're going to get in a small boutique. So, if you're looking for something different, something new, something that it just isn't a hot is a hot is a hot, you're going to get it from your local jeweler because the innovation is still like yourselves is with the smaller boutique,
Yeah.
whether they're selling gold, whether they're selling sterling silver or regular costume jewelry. Now, K's uh, is owned by a very big corporation. They own K Jewelers, they own Belden Jewelers, they own Jared's, and a year and a half ago they acquired Zales. So they're the largest company in the world that happens to be based in the United States that have a major retail presence and the only largest retail presence. So they're pretty much dominant for big chain stores.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
And now our area used to be pretty big in the jewelry industry, correct? It wasn't like Rhode Island and Providence really big in the jewelry industry back in the day.
Back in the day, Rhode Island was noted for the largest costume jewelry industry in the world. Precious metals pretty much were made all over the place, predominantly, I would say, New York, California, did a lot of precious metal jewelry manufacturing in this country. We were pretty much noted for the costume jewelry capital of the world, not precious metal jewelry. Although you had spots of precious metal jewelry in Rhode Island, but that we were noted for our costume jewelry expertise.
Can you just explain the difference between costume jewelry and precious metal jewelry?
Sure. Costume jewelry is pretty much made out of brass, steel. Um, back in the day, it was copper coated, you know, steel. It was where precious metal jewelry is made of real sterling silver, 0.925, 14 karat gold, 18 karat gold, and obviously very few people wore 24 karat gold, which is pure gold. So costume jewelry here was predominantly manipulated in so many different fashions of metal, as long as it wasn't precious, and
Yeah.
that's what Rhode Island was noted for.
Thank you for the clarification on that. I am very much a novice when it comes to the world of jewelry.
Well,
Uh,
as a matter of fact, not far from where you guys reside, your podcast, you had Green Plastics. Back in the day, Green Plastics was a formidable company, a force to be reckoned with, to buy their merchandise that made it look so real in plastics that I can't tell you, probably almost every manufacturer in the state of Rhode Island bought from them
Hmm.
back in the day.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, that's really interesting. I didn't know any of that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that's cool. Um, now so you've been in jewelry for a really long time, and can you talk to us about Symbol of Love? Because I think that you're doing something that's well, first of all, we've had a lot of conversations. Justin and I have had a lot of conversations with many people about reopening their retail stores and their businesses. That's sort of what Justin is doing for as a part of a service for Rhode Island Small Business or rismallbusiness.org right now, and he's helping thousands of businesses with their reopening plans. But you have moved into the e-commerce section, so I want to talk a little bit about e-commerce jewelry. And before we get there, why don't you just tell us about Symbol of Love itself? Tell us where that came from, what it is, where people can find it.
Sure. Well, being in the industry for so long and wanting something completely different in the industry, when I created the first piece with a girl from Rhode Island School of Design, when she was in the jewelry business, I mean, in the design business, uh, I hired her to take from my mind renderings of the type of jewelry I wanted. When she came up with the renderings and came up with the first piece, I then contacted the Patent and Trademark Office in Washington D.C. and had it the name Symbol of Love trademarked and the pieces copywritten, so it would protect the company. symbol of love. So the pieces couldn't get knocked off so easily, and by law I'm protected, and the name couldn't be used all over the place other than myself. So these pieces that you're looking at right now through your podcast, and if somebody wanted to go on the website, Symbol of Love is trademarked and all the pieces are copywritten. Um, so from that one rendering, we made all these different pieces uh, to add to the Soulmate collection, which is Symbol of Love jewelry, but we have a Soulmate collection, which is what really this is. And we designed all these pieces in mind of giving it to someone, whether it be a best friend, whether it be somebody special, whether it be your wife, your girlfriend, to signify their relationship with you as a person.
Very nice. And so how long has Symbol of Love been around?
Symbol of Love was created in 2008, but I didn't launch it until we have a collection that we do now, because you can't launch one piece, you have to launch a collection. So we uh, we just launched it maybe with Virtual Drive, which really was our first collection, uh, in May 1st.
Oh wow. Okay. That's
So
so that's pretty cool. Launching a I mean launching an e-commerce jewelry store during the COVID-19 pandemic is it's a hell of a lot smarter than opening a retail shop.
well, well,
Uh
well.
so
I mean, we can sell to retail stores. We have a
right.
wholesale pricing structure that we can sell to retail stores, other than an e-commerce site, uh, which we offer, our full range of pricing, our full line of jewelry, and we can also do that to retail stores. Um, the difference between today and what used to be, when you talk about, what Rhode Island was at a time, there used to be very many independent representatives out there that selling to stores, manufacturers lines, and they used to go around and they used to have however many lines, 3 lines, 6 lines, that manufacturers would give them to represent on a commission basis to sell to stores. Well, those days have dried up because it's so expensive now for reps to go on the road to sell to stores. And as you both know, and your audience knows, that shows this year are over. There are no shows to go by, uh, where people that own stores would go to shows to buy their new products coming into the stores, and whether it be in Rhode Island, New York, wherever they shop, even out in the Midwest, there's shows everywhere. Those shows have now been halted because of COVID-19. So a lot of stores are not going to be able to get new product, um, or see new product, because there, there's very few independent reps on the road, because they're almost non-existent.
Right. So what do you see as the future for the jewelry industry, both the precious metals and and the costume jewelry? Where do you think this is going?
Well, I think where it's going is more and more boutiques are going to be handcrafted jewelry. That's a one-off, one of a kind type industry. Uh, Costume jewelry is getting tougher and tougher to mass produce for a cost in the United States. It's very expensive to do
Right.
that.
Sure.
Um, and where I see this going is I think e-commerce is going to take over. I mean, unless you're going on a vacation spot or you're going, whether it be Newport, Rhode Island or Newport Beach, California, it really doesn't make any difference. You're walking around, you're shopping, say, hey, my girlfriend or my wife or my significant other, likes this, I'm going to buy it, you know, walk, go down the street when she's in the shower, go buy the piece and surprise her at dinner. That's where I see I see this business going to e-commerce is where I see it going
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
more and more stores are going out of business.
With the e-commerce platform in an industry like this, does it change or affect the personal ability in that one-on-one relationship on selling that piece to someone? Just showing them the quality of the piece versus a costume jewelry piece.
It has, but not as much as you would think. Like, example, if you're going to spend a lot of money on an engagement ring, obviously you want to see the piece. You're spending 3 to 5 thousand, $6,000, $2,000. This is where you would walk into a K Jewelers or stores like that to sit down with somebody to get a little bit more educated on what you want to buy and how you want to buy it. But for the average jewelry, popular price, precious metal, or costume jewelry, you can buy it online.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
So the more high end stuff, people would want the personal touch and to sort of be. I mean, when you're buying like an engagement ring or something, I feel like, and I've never bought one myself, so I'm not an expert on this, but
That makes two of us, even though I'm married.
wait, seriously?
Yeah, well, you know what it was? It was a family ring passed down, so we had two rings that were passed down. So I have never bought
Uh,
one either.
very nice. Very very nice.
well, you got to
Buy
go onto the Symbol of Love website and look at the
yeah,
ring.
buy your
Yeah,
wife
well,
buy your wife a
I'm
ring.
on there now.
Buy your wife a ring. So I'm on there too. Let's take a look at the Symbol of Love website, shall we? Um, so yeah, so this is the Soulmate collection is on here, as you said, and let's take a look at that. Uh, so can you sort of talk us through some of these pieces?
Sure, I can. The piece on the left is a double bangle bracelet. The bracelet itself comes in two sizes, depending on the size of your wrist, and there's three motifs that actually hang off that bracelet. There's the smaller symbol of love couple. There's a larger symbol of love couple, and there is the heart that with a couple on it that hangs off that bracelet. So, and you can get it in the silver color, which is all sterling silver, or you can get it in sterling silver with uh, heavy gold electroplate.
Okay, very nice.
And the middle depiction of earrings are also come in sterling silver in gold, and you can get them as you see in the fishhook version there, or you can get them in the clip version of the earring. So the back, it goes in like the earrings and clips in the back, so you don't lose them.
Very nice.
And obviously, the depiction on the right is the the hot earring, and there's different styles of necklaces.
Awesome. And then, of course, we have more down here.
Yes, you have the unisex line to the right, with the plate, where a man or a woman can wear those, and it comes with a different type of chain to make, because it's a heavier piece, so
Okay.
you need a heavier chain. And then you have the ring in the middle, and then you have a different necklace on the left.
Very nice. So Justin, I believe your okay, that might have been your mom, not your wife. That liked this video. I was gonna say, I think, well, maybe maybe you need to give them one too. So so let's talk about e-commerce for a second, and sort of the challenges of the times that we're going through, because that's sort of a big focal point of this show is 2020 is a year that is not like any of us that are alive have ever experienced. um and launching a brand in the midst of this has been challenging, I'm sure, in many ways. So
Yes.
what are the things that you have found difficult, and what are the things that you found maybe a little bit easier, if any, dealing and navigating through the pandemic with your business?
Well, what's difficult is anytime you launch something for the first time, whether it be jewelry or I'm sure anything else, including phones. I'm sure Verizon goes through this all the time, or an iPhone, Apple goes through it all the time. When you're launching a product, uh, it's challenging, difficult, and you always want to reach the right pitch to the customer. And that's the same with Symbol of Love. And the challenge is getting it out there so people can actually see it. Obviously, they can't feel it, but they want to be a part of it. And that's why you see the verbiage in there, because it's inclusive, that everybody can be a part of what the symbol of love represents and is to you as an individual. And to everybody, it's a little bit different, but basically, it's about whether you're married or not married, it's your soulmate.
Yeah,
And it could be your best friend.
yeah, absolutely. That's very, very nice. I completely agree. And so let's wrap up this section. Thank you so much, John. Can you just tell us one more time where people can find the jewelry, and how people can contact you if they want more information? Did he Justin? Did he freeze?
Tom, he froze. He's frozen.
All right. Um. Well, I'm gonna do the pitch for him then at the end. Uh, so thank you very much, John, and check out Symbol of Love Jewelry and their Soulmate collection, and we want to thank Lori and Scott from Visual Thrive for the photos today that we posted, and for hooking us up with with John to begin with. So that was very, very nice. Justin, if you have a couple minutes, I just wanted to talk to you about what you're seeing right now in the business world in Rhode Island. Justin is the original creator of rismallbusiness.org, and along with the team of Chris and Lori, Chris Parisi. Did I get that one right?
You got that one right.
It was pretty easy, that one. From Trailblaze Marketing, and Justin, obviously, from Oceanside Graphics, rismallbusiness.org. Check them out. And the wonderful team at the Lieutenant Governor's office. Um, so, what have you been seeing with the whole? I mean, what are we in? Are we like deep phase 2 right now? What's happening?
Yeah, I think we're deep into that, getting into this the beginning of 3. I mean, I just dropped my kid off for the first time at daycare, which was kind of like a surreal moment for us because we're doing like these half days with him. But we had a extensive questionnaire that we had to fill out, a temperature. We had to send them with some different shoes so they could have indoor shoes, outdoor shoes. So it was just different. It's just a really different time. I think that a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now is stuff that's probably be implemented and stay for a very long time to come. With just safety measures themselves.
Yeah.
From the business world, I think I'm just seeing a lot of businesses take precaution and take a step back. They're starting to think about what's best for them instead of sometimes what's best for their customer. And not that the customer doesn't matter in that sense, but they're trying to protect themselves. If they have a business and 100 people are coming in every day, they're interacting with 100 different people. So how do they protect themselves? How do they protect their employees? Are they doing the right steps? Are they filling out the right paperwork? um, I've had a lot of people over the past couple of weeks just say, "Hey, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm getting ready to open my social club, or I'm going to open my hair salon this week." My sister's starting at a new salon this week, and they were here picking my brains, and I was giving out thermometers as like, just extra precautions. So
Mhm.
we gave each person a thermometer so that when she has a new stylist come in, they can take their temperatures and make sure they're doing the right things. Keeping logs of customers that come in. So if you do have an interaction, at least you know what customers were there on what days, so you could, make the proper phone calls. And obviously, yeah, it's a weird time, and we hit some of that weird privacy type stuff. But I think all in all, it's somewhat of a good thing.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's really interesting. I've noticed that I mean, I've talked to several business owners who opened and then were like, was this worth it? This was more of a headache. It's less of a it's the challenges right now for the people who have been open and who are giving it a go. Like you said, there's so many things and there's such a stress level that's going along with it that it's such a difficult situation to be in right now, which my heart goes out to all of them, anybody who's dealing with that, and the businesses that have yet to open. I mean, this is such an unprecedented time, and so I just, want to, on behalf of everyone, thank you and Chris and Lori and the Lieutenant Governor's office at rismallbusiness.org for sort of being a sounding board for everybody, and giving advice and going through the going through all of the new rules and regulations, and also just a shout out to the team at DBR,
Absolutely.
Liz Tanner and the Department of Business Regulations. They have been, I feel like it's easy. It would probably be very easy for people to like hate them and use them as like a scapegoat, but they're really trying to answer everybody's questions. And like, I wish that on all of my shows I had Cheyenne just typing in the comments like where to find all of the people that I mentioned off the top of my head. I need to get one of them. So but yeah, so what has this been like for Oceanside Graphics? Because that's something that we don't talk about a lot. You guys have donated a lot of stuff and you've donated a lot of time. What have been the ups and downs for Oceanside Graphics during this?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been, a tough time. We got fortunate right at the beginning. We started doing some face shields. We donated a ton of them. We sold some of them to keep the doors open, keep everybody flowing, keep the staff here. It's been great for us in the sense of we've really built ourselves as a staff like insanely close because, we've been the circle of five. That's been it. It's been every day since right around my birthday, around March or so. Um, and we haven't really let anybody in. And now that we're opening our doors and letting our customers come back in, we find ourselves not breaking the rules, but it's hard for us because we've been in here, the five of us not wearing a mask and been there every single day. And then we get someone new that comes in and it's, oh shit, man, I got to run it. I got to go find my mask, or don't leave here without your mask type stuff. We built a barrier between the shop and our retail store so that we didn't have to worry too much about the barrier. So if the guys were out in the shop working because they're close together and have been together the whole time, they can stay separated from anyone who's kind of doing the retail front. But just on a financial standpoint, Oceanside Graphics, we've only been around now about a year. I've been in the business for about 10 years. My business partner's been in the business for 10 years. But as a together business, we merged last year. So we weren't eligible for a lot of the PPP loans, some of that idle stuff. We didn't have the, tax forms and everything that we needed to be able to protect ourselves and pay ourselves. So anything that we've done or donated has pretty much come like out of pocket, and just a way to give back to the people that supported us during this. I know yesterday we adopted a Coventry senior, and we gave him out everything he needed to build a supercomputer. So I think we spent about like $1,500 on a computer for him, between like curved monitors. I don't even have a curved monitor. But we got him a curved monitor and every cool thing that he needed. But it was a great experience to do that. It was a total stranger, someone we didn't know, someone that definitely needed it. He's a very bright kid. He's already done 2 years at URI where he's gonna go to school, and it was a great feeling to do that. But in the same token, now we're starting to see some of the downfalls to everything that's going on. It's trade show season, or what was trade show season. So we're finding that all the customers that we've had the last few years they're not having their shows. They're not opening the doors. They're not spending the money on marketing like they would have. So it's a little bit tough for us. It's boat season. We're still doing okay with a lot of the boat lettering and the yacht lettering and stuff that we do. But even that, you're just seeing less and less people at the docks. They're not spending as much time as they would have on their boats. So yeah, it's definitely been a great challenge. It's been a hard thing to move through, just like any business. We've been able to stay in the limelight to keep the doors open, but there's definitely some financial drawbacks to that as well.
Yeah. You stepped up in such a way during this whole thing right at the beginning, and you have continuously. And I don't want to. I mean, it's tough to list the amount of cool and great things that you guys have done for the community and the state, and all of the small businesses around you. What is the so like? Not only is that the best thing that you could have done as a human being, which is why you did it, but it's a doing the right thing is always the right thing, and
Right.
and I would have to imagine that more people now know what Oceanside Graphics is than ever did before,
Yeah, I would absolutely say that, and it was a blessing in disguise. I mean, like I said, we were just sitting here like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? We'd have nothing to do, so how can we make the most of this? How can we give back? And that was just like the easy way to do it. It was something that we knew we could do super cheap to put up the website. We knew that we'd be able to manage it. I don't think anybody, including the lieutenant governor, thought it was going to be as big as it turned out to be today. And now that we're getting to like what we're calling like I think phase 3 at this point, where we're really taking this website, the rismallbusiness.org, and shifting it to the businesses of the state. For the first time ever, the businesses have a voice. And you've been on many of these calls too, where the LG has said, I've been trying to do this for X amount of years, and I've never been able to get 1,500 people to come and join one entity to be that voice. So now it's time. It's time to march out and get to the Capitol. There's a lot of small business funding right now that we all can use, in my business included. I think there's like $120 million or so of CARES Act money, and it could be more or less. It's still early in the morning for me to remember all the numbers. But yeah, so there's CARES Act money there that the state is really not doing anything with right now. They're kind of just keeping it on the books and using it to balance a few different things here and there. And myself and Chris and the LG are kind of coming up with that plan on how to, get that money to the people that need it. And now's the time to get your business on our small business, join that movement, help us make that march. And really let's get what's, rightfully ours, so to speak.
Yeah. That's sort of been the push in the last week or so, and it's been the push all along, honestly, but it's been really apparent in the last week or so that the goal here to is to demand a more small business friendly state. And that's really important because small businesses are everything around you, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
like it's everything that everything that makes the town that you love, the state that you maybe love or hate, whatever, but everything that you love about it is because someone is putting their heart and soul into a business that they love and is their passion project, and is something that is not easy. You know what I mean? It's not, nobody comes to, so I live in Westerly, which is a great beach town, and there's all sorts of great things to do down here. Nobody here is like, what I really love about Westerly? The Walmart. I really love the Walmart, and my favorite restaurant is Applebee's. Um and for coffee, I mean, people do love Dunkin'. I'm not gonna go crazy about that, but you know it's the just here though. I mean, there's stores like McQuaid's, which is a small locally run and owned grocery store. There's Perks and Quirks, which is a coffee shop bar. Junk and Java, which is like these are the restaurants and the entire beach scene. Like there's all of those places are locally run and owned, and they're small businesses, and they all need your help. And that's one town out of 39
Right.
in the state, and there's hundreds of local businesses here, and they all have real owners that have kids and family members in the community, and they are the lifeblood of the community. Like they're creating they are the economy.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And like one thing I always say too is like, just get in your car, leave your house for a second, and just drive down the road and look at the ratio between a small business and a big box store. If we let all the small businesses go out of business, there's not enough big box stores for all of us to go work at and make a living to feed our families.
oh, absolutely.
So that is like the biggest mindset for me to get out there and enjoy my small business and support my small business and my fellow small business community. We try to do different takeout through this whole thing here and there, at some small places. I've definitely done way more ordering online of just garments. I know our friends at Frog and Toad. I did a bunch of the tees because I was like, I gotta support people. There was another screen printing shop. They were selling T-shirts that said "Heroes" on them, and then they were donating the money to some of the COVID stuff. We went on and I bought everyone on the staff some shirts. But
Yeah.
again, it's like something we did to support another business. Yeah, sure, it's a competitor, but at the end of the day, if I don't have the competitor there, then my industry dies because someone's just going to go to screenprinting.com and order 500 t-shirts, or they're going to go wherever and get their signs made online. And it's just it's a tough spot for all of us to be in. And I think that there's a good message at the end of something so bad. And I think that as a nation, we've seen a lot of communities come together between the COVID stuff. You're seeing a lot of communities unite now with the Black Lives Matter, which you and I have been on a lot of these calls discussing some of that stuff. And it's just, I think that just our environments around us are just changing so rapidly, and we're becoming more of community based.
Yeah. Oh no, I lost Justin. All right. Well, it is what it is. We lost Justin. We love him. He'll be back. OceansideGraphicsRI.com. And I just want to end. I'll end this I guess by myself right now. Oh, Justin's back. Never mind. Hey,
Our
man.
shop phone rang. Yeah, so just as I was saying, just our communities are just becoming more community involved as opposed to being like just distant from one another. Which I guess leads
Right.
us to a good segue of kind of wrapping up our fun stuff. But yeah, I think we've
Absolutely.
had a good rant for the day.
Yeah. And I think this is the thing that I'm going to be pushing soon. Which is, I think that the tools and lessons that we've learned during the pandemic are a roadmap to the future of communications for small businesses, artists, organizations, politicians, like what you've done so well, and what I think we want to encourage everybody to do is to create more meaningful, deeper connections with their communities and their customer base and their people around them. Because we are a community, and it is the economy is an ecosystem, and we all need each other, and it's more than just the economy. Like, we just don't think of it in terms of money. Like, everybody needs each other to coexist, and you need to, if you're not helping the small business down the street, then they're going to be gone, and then your kids aren't going to have a place to work, summer jobs, and all of that stuff. So we really need to push that, and it's all about accessibility, authenticity, and transparency, and they're the futures of marketing, and they're the future of communication, and it's going to be the pillars of the society that we build on top of this ridiculous mess that COVID has caused. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to go back to normal. We're going to go to better than normal. We're going to go to better than what we were before. And change never happens easy. There's people kick and scream, and they don't want to change, and they want to go back to what it was, but it's going to be better. I truly think that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
So, all right, man. Thank you so much. I know that you're very busy. Thank you for giving almost an hour of your time for this.
Absolutely.
And if you want to be a guest on Business Over Breakfast, if you have a local business that you own, operate, manage, work for, or just love, send us a message. Send me a message directly. You can find me on Facebook, or you can send a message to D&B Media, and or contact Justin. We will get you on the show, or just check out rismallbusiness.org, and when you send them an email, mention to that you want to be on the show, and we'll get that too. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Justin.
Take it easy, guys.